Pep, you first said when when Benjamin got injured that you would consider buying a left back maybe in January. Has Fabian Delph's performances so far, has that made you change your mind at all?
We're going to decide, but even with Fabi, we have Fabi. Of course, Danilo can play there, but he's right foot, and Zinchenko, Alex. We're going to see the next games if they're able to play in that position. But taking decisions about what's going to happen in January and with the transfer window, we are going to decide. But of course, the club is working about not just for this winter time, for the next summer and the other one. So to know the players, how it's going. But we're going to see. We're going to see. The important is that Fabi is playing awesome, and is no injury, and has, game by game is playing more confident, stronger. So again, he played him unbelievable against Napoli.
I was looking at before a bookmaker are offering 25-1 on Burnley to win tomorrow. That's the longest ever odds for a team to win a Premier League match. When that sort of statistic is around, do you think it's difficult for your players to, kind of focus on?
I know, but I don't believe too much in the statistics. So especially, of course, you show you something. If you are a lot of games without losing, so okay, we are stable. But about what you have done one team for the last, I don't know how many years, is past. So it doesn't count. So it doesn't count tomorrow 3 in the afternoon when the referee decides to start the game. How going to handle our game? I don't believe too much about the numbers, statistics, or something. Because it's the past. And the past is the past. The future is live in the present, stay in the present, and that is have to be focused.
Hi Pep. It was October last season when things turned against the team. Would you accept that your team now, that your squad now is that much stronger, that kind of blip probably won't happen?
So last season when we played the first game in October, it was the game against Stoke City, comparing last season this one. So we played really good against Everton last season. We dropped 2 penalties, we missed 2 penalties, a lot of posts. It was one of the best performances. But after that, we went to Barcelona with 10 against 11 with the send-off from Claudio 4-0, and our mood was a little bit down. And after Southampton, the last minute against Middlesbrough, when it was 1-0, was the first half we played for 2-3, and the last minute we equalized for 1-1. And that's true. That counts a lot in our confidence, because football is an emotion moment. And now we feel, okay, we can do that. And I'm expecting what's going to happen, how we're going to react when we're going to lose points, drop points, because that is going to happen. How we're going to react. I am waiting that moment as a team, because when it became a strong team, you have to react at that moment immediately. But of course, we knew that. We spoke about that. Last season was at that moment. And of course, Stoke City played Napoli. In that moment in Champions League, we had 4 points. Now we have 9. So we have one more game. We are qualified for 80 finals, the best 16 teams in Europe. Again, it's in February. It's there. We can focus in the Cup, in the Premier League. So that's why Napoli away will be, again, so important. And but of course, winning games give us a lot of confidence. So we know exactly which team we beat last game against Napoli, when we didn't lose 1 game in the Italian league. And of course, it's so important. It's so important tomorrow against Burnley and finish the last 3 games before international break in being there. It's so important because of course we know the hypothetical contenders to win the Premier League. They play between each other. So soon there are one Tottenham United Chelsea, and Arsenal Everton Arsenal is not easy for anyone. Go to Goodison Park. So that's why it's to be there, to continue focus. It's so important for us to before international break as much points as possible as we get.
So I mean, you're almost expecting a blip at some stage, and you are already making plans for how you'll deal with that.
About when?
That you're expecting there to be a downturn at some stage, and you're already thinking about how you'll handle that.
That is going to happen. We cannot expect now in October finish the season like we are starting the last month when we won all the games, and now we're still winning all the games. It's impossible in football in the high level. But I want to see that. I want to see how we are going to react in that moment. We are going to drop points. how strong we are, because the teams always show in the bad moments. With everything is fluently when we're winning 3-4. Okay, it's so important, but doesn't count too much. Count in the bad moments, how we react. But that's why I'm so a little bit optimistic, because how we react after 3-2 against Stoke was so good. It was so good signal. After 3-2, 1 minute later, Kevin had the chance to score the 4, and after great assist to Gabriel for the 4. And even last game against Napoli, 2-1, and we are good. We concede not too much, and we still to try to make a build-ups, to play, not long balls, and be courage to play and try to score goals. That's why these two signals I like. I like to watch it in my team, but it's completely different when you drop point. And after we're going to see, because I don't know exactly.
Hi Pep. Obviously the team's playing well at the moment and a lot of players look to have improved, but Nicolas Otamendi in particular seems to have improved a lot. What are your feelings on that?
A lot. I'm really impressed. Because always we talk about the guys who play offensive, but John and Nico, both of them were fantastic in the last month because they play all the games. And Nico played, because I had a lot of doubts, he played or not against Stoke City, because it came from Argentina with 10 days with a lot of pressure in his mind to qualify for the World Cup, and he played in difficult conditions in Ecuador, travel, arrived the day before, and again, I think his mentality is one of the players I met in my life with the strongest mentality, with the same confidence, and he's a guy who only want to learn in determining in the ball possession, because always was strong in the air, real win duels necessary here in England and everywhere, but especially here in England. And how he has the courage to play. Even with mistakes, it doesn't matter. It's the same we said before. He lost a game, give me a ball again and play. And I give a lot of credit, a lot of value to this kind of thing. So I am really impressed the level he has, and I'm so happy with him.
Has he got like that old-fashioned warrior kind of mentality? Is he one of the few guys in the squad with that?
That's true. He's no afraid at all. It doesn't matter where he plays. A lot of experience. It's so important guy for us. So the last month, I think all the season, he's playing outstanding. So he and John, both of them, John the last year always every game was 1 or 2 mistakes with the ball and always distract. And this season is always focusing with the ball. I know his quality, but he's even improving. So, but it's always also difficult for me to make a lot of good comments about the central defenders, because the central defender has to be always focus. And sometimes when the manager speaks quite well, always a little relaxed, and we cannot accept that.
They didn't always play so well last season, did they? Together, Stone
Sorry?
Mountain. They didn't always play so well together as a
Yeah,
partnership.
they did it. Yeah, they did it because last season, of course, Kola played in that position many games because his build-up from Kolarov was amazing. But after that, except the last 7-8 months, where Vincent came back, so where Vincent play often, so they play quite often, so they know each other. I think they understand quite well.
Pep, I think you said in the past that you don't think we'll have a period of one team dominating in this country again because the level is so close. But when you look at this City squad and the way you're playing at the moment, there's probably about 6 players maybe who are still a long way from reaching their peak. Is there the possibility that you're building a team that can dominate for years to come?
First to dominate years ago, you have to win titles. And when we win, you get the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. And when that happens, so you can consider you dominate. In October, when that team didn't win one title, so there's no sense to talk about that. So we can talk about, for example, Chelsea dominated last season. We had to win 30 or 40 games in a row winning, and how difficult it is to in that country happen, and they were able to do that. I give Antonio and his team a lot of credit of that. So now it's just in October. Of course, we are in good shape, in good momentum. But to say dominate something in where you need titles, no one, not two, a lot, and still we didn't take one.
If this club can keep this core of players together, though, there is the chance of something special. You would think.
But
a bit like
except few players is a young team. We cannot forget, for example, the last 3 games we play in the 3 strikers with the average is 21 years old. So we don't see in Europe 3 guys with this 21 years old. So in these kind of games, against Napoli, for example, with Raj, with Leroy, they were not in the level that the last games will be a step forward for the next game. So it's so important to leave that situations to improve. And as quick, as young, you can do that is much better. But it's a team like, except 2 or 3 players, is a young team because Kyle is young, the goalkeeper is young, Ederson, Kyle, John, except Fernandinho, except David, except little Nico. The other ones is a young team because Gundogan is young, Bernardo Silva is young, Mendy is young. So that's why we try to buy players for the next years, I said in my press conference here, not just for 1 or 2 seasons. And that's good, react good that players, because I think Gundo, I don't have any doubts about Gundo and Bernardo, they are young, but they have a lot of, a character. So they don't feel the pressure. They like to play in the big stages against big teams. And that is so important to grow up like a team. But the best way to grow up and build up is to handle every 3 days a game, and win games and play good and win games and be solid. That is the best way. And we did it in the last month, August, September. We will see if we are able to do in October. We are here and we will see tomorrow.